good evening. Um, if you've been checking with your local radio or TV station, such as with TV stations in Huntsville and Birmingham and in Montgomery and Mobile, um, if you've been keeping up with them, and of course the radio stations about um, the possible or potential flooding threat that we could be having next week, um, or if you've been seeing reliable posts and all about it, and you probably know what I'm about to start talking about. Um, the last thing uh, the last several things that I've been hearing about concerning it, as as far as the how much and all that. Well, I've been hearing multiple things, such as where a lot of locations could receive maybe 2 to 4 inches, or 3 to 6, or 3 to 6, yeah, 3 to 6 inches, or maybe locally higher than that, possibly. Again, it's possible, but there's the potential for it. There's been plenty of discussions about it. I mean, there's been plenty of talks and all about it since, I don't know, maybe a week or two ago, maybe a week or two now. And it's not this weekend that I'm aware of, but it's next week that we could have flooding. There's the potential for flooding. Of course, the numbers I've looked at through what James Spann and all of them been talking about. Hold on a minute. Um, anyway, with the maps that I've looked at, and I'm talking about the ones that have been reliable, very reliable. I knew I don't have time to do it. I apologize, that was my alarm. But, anyway, there's been plenty of discussions about the potential for flooding, and they're still saying that there's potential for it. And as long as they're still saying there's potential for it, I'm going to talk about it and letting you guys know about it, because it's something that we need to be paying attention to. And yes, you can hear my dog in the distance, but here she is right here. Look, look, you're on camera. Hey, you're on camera. What, you don't want to look at the camera? She's a mess. I guess she didn't want to be on camera. It's my dog, Silver. But anyway, oh, thank you. I'm not talking about California, but but I've been seeing this. Oh man. Mm. Mm. It's hard to watch. I'm trying to pull the Oh, okay, then. Shoot. Oh, but then if you can still hear me, tell me. I hope I didn't mess this. I hope I didn't mess this up. Well, maybe I didn't. Okay. All right. But yeah, I have been hearing about the mudslides and all in California, and more than likely. Hang on. Mm, I'm going to mute. I'm going to turn my TV down or something in just a moment. Alright, maybe that'll work out a lot better. Sorry about that. Now, the only thing you're probably going to hear now, other than me talking, is probably the radio, but they're not discussing politics like what you're hearing just now. On the Republican side and Democratic side. That's I am not even going to go there. Uh, I'm sure a lot of you probably know today was the one year anniversary of what happened in Parkland, Florida, a year ago today or tonight, um, where a gunman went into the Stoneman Douglas High School or so, and 17 or 18 people were killed. Most of them were students, and others were teachers and staff and all. And that's it's hard to watch, and That's why I put my TV on mute. So, okay, it was 17 people that were killed. Let me tell you something. It doesn't matter how many people have been killed. When you hear about loss of life, it just breaks your heart, and it was just all I can do is pray for the families and all that lost their loved ones during that horrific tragedy a year ago today. Um, anyway, what I was talking about with the flooding potential. Now, I did see something from the WPC showing that they had a high risk for flooding or so near a part of California. I don't remember which part it was. You can tell me if you can, because you're asking me about California. Excuse me. But otherwise, um, but as far as here in Alabama, and well, pretty much basically all over the southeastern part of the USA, or the southern state, the southeastern states specifically, such as Alabama and Mississippi and Tennessee and Georgia and just a number of places. Um, there's been a number of um, maps that I've seen from Jason Simpson from WHNT News 19 and James Spann from ABC 3340 in the Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Anniston, and Gadsden area. And of course, the Rich Thomas Weather Network over in the Montgomery area, or in Montgomery rather. And um, just a number of very reliable sources and information rather are also that the numbers are pretty high. They're very high from what I saw. Possibly even 8 inches. And some were, there might be 10, but we're not even going to go there right now. At least not yet. Not at this time. But anyway, um, anyway, the bottom line is there's the potential for flooding starting next week, and we'll need to be paying very close attention to the weather this weekend and all. And yes, I'm still filling in for one of my coworkers that had to miss the rest of the week of work because he had the flu. And I'm asking y'all to please continue praying for him. I haven't heard anything new. Wow. Wow, that's pretty remarkable. That's very, very remarkable. Hope nobody was hurt or killed in it. Excuse me. Excuse me. Um, it's something. It's something that nobody should fool around with. Excuse me. But yeah. And I promise y'all I'll shave tomorrow morning also, but not tonight though. Um, wow, that's pretty remarkable. That is remarkable, rather. But but as far as which part of Alabama could get the very, very heavy rain, well, pretty much if you're north of U.S. Highway 80 and north, and I'd say along north of I-85 or Interstate 85, basically Montgomery northward to here in the Shoals and Huntsville and Sand Mountain and up in the rest of Tennessee and parts of Georgia and Mississippi, of course, such as Tupelo and Columbus and perhaps even Jackson just a number of locations where the where there's the potential for flooding. I'm trying to really hold off on saying that it's possible or likely. I'm just really trying to really mention that there's the potential for it. And of course, Brad Travis from WFF 48 News. That's of course in Huntsville. He mentioned one of he responded to the comment I had about. Oh, okay. That's good. That's good. That's good that you do that. You're able to do that. That's great. But when I left a comment on Brad Travis's Facebook page when he did a live video, Facebook Live earlier on, one of the things he said was when I asked him a question, ask him if a flat if there's if a flash flood watch is likely, and one of the things I recall him saying that it is there is one likely coming up, whatever that's going to be, which will obviously be before this event happens, if it does happen or not. I nearly fell asleep when I was coming home from work today, even though I didn't go to work until 11 this morning. That was kind of it was my fault. I stayed up a little bit too late, but it was my fault. Just had a lot on my mind. One of the things that I've had on my mind since yesterday was what happened in Tuscumbia, where two people were shot and killed in a shooting in Tuscumbia yesterday. Caused Deshler High School and all the others to be put on lockdown. And it was very hard to talk about. It was very hard to talk about, and it still is to this time and day and night. And of course, like I was saying earlier today, marked the anniversary. And I didn't mean to. I apologize for having my hand in the way or in the video. I apologize for that. But um, doing the check the time. Let's see. All right. Just a minute. Let's see. Wow. I don't heard anything. I haven't seen anything. I'd say about. Alright. Sounds good. That sounds good. You have a good night and be safe and stay dry. But most importantly, be safe. And if you have any other questions, feel free to ask me anytime. I do have a I do have a Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. You can catch me on all three of them. Um, it's on Twitter. It's at Stuart McCrary, and of course my Facebook is just Stewart McCrary. It's not, not necessarily with, it's just with a friend limit. I think the word's a friend limit. So far, I haven't had any of that, but I don't know if that would make any sense or not, but, see how it goes, but, yeah, and I'll be doing my best to keep everybody posted on this potential flood event, flood threat that more than likely is coming up pretty soon, or coming up next week, rather. Um, it, it's a pretty big concern right now. It really is. I'll be fully honest with you. It's a pretty big concern, even though so far nothing about them being severe weather for the moment. But you know, that's something we're probably more likely to be aware of also. But I have not heard anything about severe weather being possible. I've only heard about the flood potential that's possible, but nothing about strong to severe storms for the moment. But if that changes, I'll let you guys know as soon as I can. But, you know, what we all need to be doing right now is be paying attention to the weather and start having that thought in mind about what am I going to do, start, do I think about, do I have a rating, do I have a plan, do I know what to do, and do I know where to go, and what all other precautions that that I have to take should there be any flash flood warnings or aerial flood advisories or anything like that. Anything that has to do with flood related warning, start thinking about that. Start thinking. We just need to start thinking about that, having that thought in mind about what are we going to do in the event time that a flash flood warning or any flood related warning could be issued next week, anytime next week. And same thing with the flood watch being issued. Be prepared. Of course, the flash flood watch, it means that the conditions are favorable for, but the conditions are favorable for the development of flash flooding or any kind of flooding. And basically, it means that it's possible or potentially likely. But for the warning, that means it's happening now or is about to happen or is going to happen shortly. That's just something everybody needs to be thinking about at this time or at this point. And I promise you, I am not trying to scare anybody discussing this. I want to make that very, very clear right now. I am not, by any means, discussing any of this to scare anybody. I'm just doing it to let you know there's the potential for it. There's no need to be scared, no need to panic. Just have that thought in mind about what are you going to do in the event that a flash flood warning or any flood related warning should be or could be issued at some point any day next week. What do you have a plan, and are you prepared for it? And as long as we have that thought in mind, we're gonna be fine. I mean, as long as you have a plan in place, and you know what to do, and you know where to go, and what steps or precautions you need to take, As long as you know all that, you're set. You're good to go. But right now, it's still several days out. But we need to take plenty of time this week to think about, you know, to be paying attention to the weather. Make sure we know what to do if any warnings are issued and what we need to do, you know, the precautions that we need to be taking and all that stuff. And we'll be fine. We'll get through it. You know, it's just something we have to deal with. But it is a concern. It's a pretty serious concern, as you can imagine. Especially if we end up having 3 to 6 inches of rain, or possibly 8 inches of rain, or more than that. That's that's pretty remarkable. Of course, does that mean it's necessarily going to happen? It's possible, and it's something we just need to be aware of. But right now, we are not under any kind of flash flood watch or warnings at this time. But that may change, and if it does, I'll get right on here and let you know about it, as long as I'm not working. Now, if I'm working, then I can't do a live video and let you know about it, unless I'm outside the building and it's not doing anything outside. And as long as it's not very, very cold outside. But if it's raining and all, I'll have to not do a live video, but post the information about it and let you know if you're in the warning or not, and what you need to do and all that. But that's just a heads up. I'm gonna check the time again. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video right now. I have to, like I said earlier when I started the video, I've been filling in for one of my coworkers that is usually working on Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays, while I'm traditionally off those days. But I had the flu and missed work the rest of this week, and I was asked to fill in for him, and I'm doing it. I'm not complaining about it. I love to fill in for people that have been sick. I love to do it. If it's worth helping people out, hey, I'm gonna do it. Extra hours, you name it all. But if I, as long as I have time to do one sometime tomorrow morning, doing a live video sometime tomorrow morning, if I have time to do one, I promise you I will do it. I'll be doing a lot of them, discussing the flood potential and what's coming up at Layton Baptist Church and the rest. But right now I'm going to end this video. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask me. But remember to, and I don't say it as much as I should, but if you have not already, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, go ahead and do it as soon as you can. Go ahead and do it now. And you have a good night. Also, let's see. Let me know if I pronounce your name wrong. Let's see, Danny. What, Vern? I hope I pronounced your name right, and if I didn't, I'm so sorry. But y'all have a good night. I'll keep you posted. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me, and I'll answer your question the best I can. Have a good night. I love every one of you. Be safe. And I hope you have a wonderful Valentine's Day also. I forgot to say that.